Hello, welcome to another episode of Bodybuilding and Beanies, episode 5461. Not,
Ugh.
I don't think we're even at 50. I don't think we're even at fucking 15. I don't think we're even
What,
at
like 10 or 11?
something like that. Anyway, I'm introing this one because Josh is sulking because I don't ever intro them, but I am now. So
Mm.
we didn't put any question boxes up. So today we're not actually going to be talking about your questions, but we're going to speak about some topics which we think are important and we want to talk about, and hopefully make them interesting and fun during that process. Um, but how are you, swollen ankles?
Fucking sound, but it's difficult, right? Because I'm happy with how I look because I'm like 50 pounds sharper than the last time I was pretty much 100 kilos. However, my body is like, you fucking idiot. You're so much heavier in just over 6 weeks, which I look pretty sound for. But my body is like, you're an absolute bastard. So yeah, like my electrolyte balance is still trying to settle to the point where my ankles are just inflamed 24/7. What's
Yeah,
fucking
what
nuts.
he's saying is basically he's getting 40 pounds below the knees.
Yeah, like I'm still peeled up here. Still absolutely shredded, but from the knee down, it's fucking awful.
Do
But
you know what I should do? It's like there should be a bodybuilding show. Have you watched Naked Attraction before? It's a show on TV where
yes, yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
naked and
No, I haven't watched it, but I know what it is.
they reveal like the toes and the fucking cock and then that and that. Yeah,
Thing is,
you
I
showed us.
always find that like, do you watch it regularly?
No, don't fuck. I watched it once.
Okay,
Like,
good. You know, if anyone watches that normally, if they sit down to like watch it, like like we'll watch the football or something, but oh, I
yeah,
can't watch the 5:30 because this game's on or something. People who like sit down as a family and watch that, if you do that, you're fucking weird. Like there's
yeah.
something really wrong with you and your family.
I will be watching that with my family.
No, I would like that's
I don't. I felt like I said I watched one episode because I was like, oh, let's see how this is. And no, it's just not an ideal situation,
I find that so weird.
especially when the blokes come on. I'm good. I'm good, mate. I
I've never watched an episode. I
I
just
don't
know.
fancy. I don't fancy seeing five choppers on my screen. To be honest,
I know. At least make it six.
maybe more. I mean, it's fair. If you're at PCA tanning, mate, you see 25, mate. You're all right. PCA delayed tanning at Naturals this year. Fantastic. I was there,
It's
mate.
so weird, isn't it?
Mate, I was there, like, bro, I was there stone cold in the face, and these guys having a conversation, like, yeah, yeah, how are you, mate? How's your cock down there?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'll chat to people, and there's people who
oh,
like,
you're a talker.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm that bastard. I'm that one. Like, there was people that I was chatting to at Yorkshire that had already done Midlands, like the same show that I'd done, or like
mm,
Midlands had done in Wales. So we were chatting. The only times I've ever seen them has been when they're fully naked.
nice,
It's brilliant.
nice. But legit, bro, I was there at Naturals for like an hour trying to dry off, and she's like, "You're not drying off." I'm like, "Well, I'm going because I am not standing here trying to turn my sexuality. I'm good. I'm gonna leave now."
Oh
Uh,
yeah. No, no. I remember at Midlands, me and Alex Stevens, you know the dude who beat me in Wales.
yes.
Um, we were just literally just chatting. He was getting tanned, um, and I'd already been tanned. We were just chatting for like 20, 30 minutes, just fully naked. It was really weird. Really cool though.
He had a big
That
cock,
was-
so it's all right. Yeah, he had a big cock, so not too bad. Anyway, right. Fuck, man. Oh, this smells a stinging, man. Christ. Ouch. Anyway, what was I up to?
What a
Naked
great
Attraction.
start.
Oh, the whole what I was saying is, yeah, you got a Naked Attraction. It comes out and they go, "Oh my God, he's obese," because I see his legs, and then it goes up and he's actually got muscle. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's just rebounded post show. He's absolutely fine.
And then comes up, where's his balls?
Goes a bit higher. Didn't you say these? You should have a dick as well. You sure?
Right. Anyway, how have I been? I've been okay.
How's
Yeah.
your week been anyway since we filmed with Tim?
I mean, lad, nothing changes. I mean, I don't know what I updated. I can't remember what I said with Tim. But anyway, long story short, I'm now into a cruise for until Christmas, which is going to lead into the next 3 weeks at maintenance, basically holding this body weight, etc. No food increases. Then going into a 4 week mini cut until Christmas. So cruising for about 8 weeks, basically, is what I'm doing. Um, in total. Now, after that point, blasty time, fantastic. More stuff being added, great. But to cut a long story short, obviously my blood markers came back. If you listen to the Tim podcast, we realized we had a HSCRP marker which was elevated to absolute madness. Which, after a long, extensive research from myself, acne vulgaris and HSCRP have a big correlation with HSCRP being elevated, which can link to IBD, which is irritable bowel syndrome. So I'm doing an advanced diagnostic, which is 450 quid it cost me,
Fuck.
right? Which is in this box, okay? And I have to do five free shit samples. So 3 days of
Oh,
poo.
do it on the pod. Do it on the podcast. Just take a shit.
Like, it's so invasive, mate. Like, I told my mum about it because it's this invasive. 3 days of poos, but 5 containers. 4 have to be refrigerated and 1 has to be frozen. Yeah, bro, mad. And so you basically, the day one, you shit, you put it into a vial, you have to shake it, put it into a bag and put it in the fridge. Day two, same thing. Day three, 2 vials again, you shake them, put them in the fridge, and you also do another one, which then you have to freeze for 6 hours at least, and then send it off the next day. So we're gonna have poo in my fridge for 3 days. Fantastic. And freezer. That's great.
And I thought growth hormone was the like, weirdest thing you could keep in your fridge.
Yeah, nah, poo, bruv. Straight up. Like, look at this stuff. Like, it's
He's got it out. This one I did earlier.
this. Here's my poo jokes. Not really. This is not tested yet. I have to be 2 weeks clear of probiotics, so I'm not doing it for 2 weeks at least. So unfortunately, I can't be pooing into. They're giving you cardboard trays to shit into. How fun.
Wait,
Um,
cardboard.
yeah, they're like
What
card.
if theoretically you have a
It's
bad day and it's not solid?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I've got gloves.
Did they preference that? Do they want it solid? Do they want it
Oh,
loose?
well, they're giving you a scooper, so I guess preferable solids. But if I'm going off my digestive enzymes and my probiotics, I'm scared that it's going to be of the looser state. There might be bits of spinach in it or something. Ah, anyway. Anyway, that's not for a long time. So there'll be a podcast in probably about 2 weeks where I'm scarred and my nostrils are probably singed. Um, so yeah,
I mean, like my bloods came back as well. Uh,
good. Hopefully better than mine. Hopefully we have to shit into.
no, I've just got to take a bit more omega 3s, really. That's it.
So cholesterol's a little bit different, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, I just got no. They're fine. It's just I just put circulatory complete in and red rice yeast or red yeast.
Red yeast rice cleared my LDL so good, honestly. It's so
So
like honestly, my LDL is like slap bang in the middle of the range. It's my HDL I need to bring up
yeah,
still.
My HDL's always been low. It's come up a lot. It gets better like every time I do my
I
bloods.
find it hard, man. I find it difficult. Like, even with my clients who are assisted, I find it difficult to bring HDL up a lot. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta either blast omegas, circuitry complete's good, and also like there's also ones by Strom, which is I think what the
Oh,
Systol Max, he said
System
to me.
Max, yeah.
And a Thrombo Max can also help
No,
as well.
System
But
Max. There's what's the other one? It's in like a powder. But
is it Thrombo Max?
no, I
It's,
can't
it's
remember.
Systol's powder, I'm
No,
pretty
System
certain.
Max is like a blue flavor, isn't it? It's like a mango flavor.
I don't know, I've not even had it before.
Um, this is gonna piss me off. Carry on.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt like HDL is a hard one to always just bring up a lot with clients, and myself, to be honest with you. It's just a case of omegas and probably dietary fats as well you can bring up through HDL, but just make sure it's not absolutely plummeted and make sure your ratios are good and you should be good to go. Um, but are you on what are you in phase wise? PD phase wise?
On a cruise now, but was gonna because my body weight was like I'm responding really well. Since prep finished. Um, too well to the point where my fucking ankles are pressed off all the time. But
Ankles.
we were like, while like it's still a bit probably be too much. We're just gonna hold because considering our bloods weren't that like we're generally pretty good. We're gonna hold for the next like 4 weeks. We've brought food down by like 400 calories, trained day and non-trained days, to just try and keep body weight where it is now. And then wait a couple more weeks, then just go into the off season really.
Are you was this these bloods during cruise?
No,
No,
like
so
well, no, a day after we decided we're gonna cruise, so technically.
right. So the same with Christian, yeah, sound that's
Yeah.
fine.
Peak blast. Obviously, we could have done it back end of prep. We wanted things to like settle, be obviously on more, well, less, let's say, aggressive compounds in terms of orals, tren, etc. And to see how things were. But everything was like genuinely really good. Um, a lot better than where they were last year after prep, and my bloods last year after prep were really good as well. But like consistently, my cholesterol markers have got better, and I'm prone to cholesterol issues, like just through family, etc. So the fact that that's improving, improving, improving as I take more and more gear is it's not bad. The other thing was my testosterone was less than like the last time I got it done,
Oh, minor though, innit?
but I'm on more testosterone than what last time I was, so it's like a bit annoying. It's like,
Yeah, I think one of them things though in it is like you
but then again, the lab which I was using at that time has never really been. I've had underdose stuff on them before. I was just using it up.
mm,
So
I don't know. I feel like it's one of them things where I feel like you got to create an average over your bloods. That's the thing. Like, don't try and chop and change and do too much drastically. Create an average. If you just use the same farmers, use the same company, and just create an average over time and just see how you
Lipid
respond.
Max found it. That's the one.
And they have so many maxes, bro. Fucking
Yeah.
look max. Let's go. Anyway, um, I don't know if we want to go straight into the topics then. Really, like we just thought, fuck
Basically,
it.
in a way, we kind of want to make this like about how to transition from that in a healthy way from natural to enhanced.
Yeah. Basically, we've got two topics, but they transition into one, into two, and
What
I
what what was
guess
the two topics again? I've forgotten.
so. Okay, let's just go into the first topic. So the question is really, should natties do natural athletes? Natties. I hate saying natties now. I feel a bit tight,
Natty's
but yeah,
almost sounds like a derogatory term.
yeah, literally.
What do
You're
you mean?
not.
They're the fucking
They've
nat.
actually got more shows than assisted people. I swear. Like now they do. Like,
No, but
uh,
like you know, if you call someone a natty,
if yeah, it
I
feels
feel that should be like it feels like a naughty word.
it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it feels like it should be in
Makes
Urban
me feel
Dictionary.
sick anyway.
Urban Dictionary, that stuff. Natties. So
Cover
should
that pointless individual.
yeah, no point bodybuilding, waste of time, bro. I can't speak on this at all. Like for me, it's not that long ago I was a fucking natty, bro. It was like not even 6 months ago, I think. Like I'm still fresh. I can't be saying this stuff. I love you, natties, bro. You're still good, bro. All
You're
right.
still in rehab. You're still
Like,
recovering from that phase of being natural.
anyway, topic, right. Should natties do blood work slash monitor health markers? This is
What
obviously,
we could, I know we've got two topics. What we could almost like transition this into, right, is we'll obviously talk through if you're natural and just if you should get blood work anyway. But then when we transition into if you're thinking to go enhance but you're natural right now or something like that, we can then just basically just walk like sort of like talk and walk through the steps to take if you're natural wanted to go enhanced.
exactly, stepping stones.
Yeah.
It's
But
yeah.
I think first of all, we'll just go through if you should get things done naturally.
Disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only and not to be taken as gospel. We are both not medically trained, right? We are just people with an opinion. So do not take this as straight literature and straight facts. This is our based opinion from people who have done the walk and done the experience itself. Josh being more experienced with it, me being less experienced, but me maybe having, I don't know, maybe do I have more experience handling people doing that?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So
But then it's also like as we had a brief chat before we started the podcast. Like as we said, we're not claiming to be the most like experienced people in the world. We're just sort of like sharing our opinions. And what's also quite interesting is obviously from Sam's blood work, my blood work, there's going to be like differences which we look upon. I think anyone when they get blood work done, when they're looking to take PDs or whatever, they're going to research ways to improve their blood work if they need to. So
Correct.
Sam's going to have research things to improve his, which I might not have researched because I don't have those issues. So therefore, I haven't been thinking, right, this is the direct thing which I need to sort of improve upon. That's the direct thing I need to research upon. And then likewise, there's going to be things with myself which I'm thinking, right, this has always been somewhat creeping up in my blood work, or this needs to improve upon right now. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I need to research upon a bit more.
That was a great way to put it. Exactly. So everyone, and even with my clients, like, the stuff we see in my clients' blood work, etc., and how I got case studies where I've had clients and they've come to me, even they've been assisted for a little bit, and there's stuff they should have done prior, for example. So I guess let's start off. I mean, you're natural. You're a natty.
No, I'm fucking not.
Yeah, fuck. Hey, how dare you, cunt? How fucking dare you?
Don't say that. I don't look it.
Bro, your testosterone came back lower, mate. You are basically natural. Come on. We're both basically natty now. We're both on cruise. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm on a cruise, but I'm also on like exactly the same amount of tests that I was on my first cycle. So maybe not.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not. I'm
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So I guess you're natural. Um, should you do blood work? Should you do blood things? Let's take it back a step and say, fuck that stuff to start off with.
Yeah.
And you'll agree with this, right? You're thinking about your future. You're thinking, where do I want to go with this? Maybe you stepped on stage, maybe you haven't yet.
Let,
What
let's
is
take
your
it let's take it from the example of let's say I've never competed before. I've never taken any anabolics. I'm 22. I train. I've never been peeled. I've never been fully fat in an off season. Um, just your generic sort of person who trains to take things moderately seriously.
yeah? So I guess my perspective is as well is I did monitoring during me being natty, and that's just mainly for the focus of I knew I was going to be going assisted at some point. So that's a good thing. Is understand, and this is a question to you actually as well. People always say, "Don't do gear if you're not going to go on stage." Now, I actually personally disagree with that slightly. I just do, and the reason why is because
I think it's a very easy way. It's a very I think people saying like only take gear if you're going to go on stage is a very easy way to just give a reason for it.
exactly.
And don't
To
get me wrong, if let's say I finished prep this year and I was like, you know what, I'm never going to compete again in my life, I wouldn't take gear. For me, I wouldn't. I
Yeah,
don't see that like I'm even when I was natural, even when I was peak off season, when I was lean or lean-ish, whatever, like I've never been someone who, and I know people struggle with this a lot. I've never been someone who like really hates how they look. Like I've always, since I've started going to the gym, I know I look better every phase I do, whatever. So I'm always going to be happy with that. And luckily for me, I never really look at myself peak off season or even when I was like over dieted to shit last year and like being like, I really hate looking at myself in the mirror. Like I've never been that sort of person. So like it's not a case for me where like I need to take gear to be happy with how I look. Like I like the look of when I'm assisted now. I'm very happy with it. But at the same time, it's like I'd be happy if I wasn't. So like for me, it's only because I want to compete and because I have goals within that.
yeah, yeah.
For me, I wouldn't take gear if I wasn't going on stage.
Ethan. See, for me, this is where my opinion slightly changes, and the reason why is because I think it comes down to a latter of seriousness. So, how seriously do you take this? And this can lead into career progression. So, we know within the bodybuilding industry that to get to a certain level, you're probably going to need to take assistance. And the fact you're coaching people through that process, you're going to probably need to be dabbling yourself. But you might not be the person to step on stage and do the do. You might
No,
not be.
no.
And I think it comes down to like, if you need, so I guess again, taking it straight back to where you said you're an average 22-year-old, whatever, you need to understand your level of seriousness. Do you already do the basics seriously? Do you do your diet, your training seriously? Have you educated yourself? Have you programmed efficiently? Have you done these things efficiently and consistently? Sleep, recovery, everything, all these variables where you want to take another step further
Even
and
like to be fair, I'll also interject. I'd even say things like stress management.
correct.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's like I'm not gonna bullshit. Like I'm not the best at stress management at all.
I'm the least good at stress
If
management.
anything goes tits up in my life, I'm thinking probably irrationally, I need to do something to take my mind off this. This year it was a prep. Um, but at the same time, it's like I think I've got better at it because I'm like years ago, if something would go wrong, like if something would be an issue, I would think it's the end of the world. Right now, I'm quite very much stable in my mind. I'm like, well, it's fucking not, Josh. You're going to wake up tomorrow. You're going to crack on with everything you need to do. Um, so that's something which I would say is like when you're taking PDs, your body's stress is going to be higher anyway. But then also you're going to, let's say you have your blood work done, as you should do, and something is not where it needs to be. You don't want to be shit in the bed immediately thinking, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. This, I need to do this, I need to do that. You need to be able to think not irrationally at certain times. I think a lot more when you're taking PDs, and that's something which I think you need to be on top of before you even think about taking anabolics.
100%. 100%. Stress management. Like I said, it comes down to everything. Every variable of bodybuilding or physique development in general, if you can master that at a natural level, you have probably warranted yourself the card to go further if it warrants benefits within your life. And that is basically business.
Yeah, because I don't really agree with the statement of like you should complete naturally before you even think about going assisted. I do think it's a good thing to have in mind because then you can almost like understand what it's like to compete. And if it's not for you, you haven't then taken anabolics and you haven't risked yourself for that. However, as we almost said, like you want to be what I can't remember the exact words you used, but you almost like you want to be getting as much experience you possibly can do. And for me, the main reason which pushed me to go, not pushed me, but the reason which I went assisted was I don't like, and this is probably going back on what I said about stress management. I don't like having a plan B.
Yeah,
I don't like having like almost like a cop out. So for me, it was like, well, I know I want to compete, and as much as like, you never really know until you compete if you're going to like it or something like that, I never really know if something's going to be for you until you've done it. I have like a sense in my head where I know if something's going to be a good idea or if it's going to be a bad idea, and I don't really need to think twice about that. So, for example, when I was thinking, right, do I want to this is like let's say 3 years ago when I was thinking, right, I want to compete in the future. I was like, yeah, I want to compete and I'm going to do it. I want to look good in my head. For me, that's the assisted look. Sound
yeah, yeah.
like it's not. I don't really second guess a lot of things anymore.
Mhm.
I say
So
well, I've never really second guessed anything.
yeah, you don't. You don't.
But it's just
You're very much straight onto your mind, aren't you? Let's be honest.
yeah. Like if I say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'll just do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
he's
it's
pretty
like
like that. I don't think he thinks. I think he just does. He's
yeah.
not. He's a doer.
That's the thing. I don't actually think about something. I do it. Um, not always the greatest. Like not always the greatest thing.
It's good in some situations, it's not in many
Great
others.
thing.
But
This year it's been a great thing. It's also been a fucking very, 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 very bad idea. Um, but then I didn't think rationally. I didn't think again off the back of that, and it worked out quite well.
we're in a good place. So I guess the thing is then, like, right, we've now established. Let's say you've now established that you are serious. You've taken everything seriously. Let's just say you're coached, because this is probably what it boils down to. Are you're most likely coached by somebody who is of an elite capacity, coaching you
But
well.
I don't think we actually put the underlying thing. If you're not doing any of those, do not go anywhere fucking near anabolics.
Correct.
Like I put that very bluntly. If you're not training well, if you're not eating well, if you haven't been consistent with that, if you can't know deep down that you can be consistent with that, and there's going to be times which you miss meals or overeat or do any of these things, and that's going to be something that crops up a lot of the time, do not fucking go assisted.
Yep.
Because those sort of people will also be the ones who be like, oh, let's add a bit more of this in. Oh, I just add another compound in. Because I don't like how I'm looking, so I'm going to add in a bit more primo.
And just remember this, yeah. The under what does PED stand for? Performance enhancing drugs.
Mhm.
They are utilized as an enhancement tool, not the tool.
Yeah.
Your tools are the things you fucking do day to day, which is training, your eating, your recovery, your stress management, all these things. This enhances all of them things. Well, actually, it technically detriments them
Mhm.
to some degree,
Yeah.
but you're going to yield a better rate of gain through doing these tools. Um, so the stepping stone, if you are doing all these things, and again, you've established that it's going to benefit your life in some capacity, and if that's financially, if that's, through gratification, which will lead to business, for example, competing, then so be it. You've established that. So, as a natural, should you start looking at these things if you've established this? I think so. I did. I started monitoring my blood
I think
glucose.
if you're thinking to ever go assisted and you don't get your blood work done naturally at least once beforehand, you're a fucking twat.
Right. Yeah, I think you're what it's going to do is going to open your
I've
eyes.
also just realized the way that Sam speaks about things, the way which I'm very rude.
Yeah, he just cuts in and says he sprinkles shit. He sprinkles sugar on top of the shit that I'm speaking, so it's all right.
Right, to put it actually professionally, I think it's a very, what's the word? Mature decision to get your blood work done, even if it takes a bit of a hit financially, just to understand where you are at from a natural point, if you are at that moment in time actually healthy enough to be taking antibiotics, because some people won't be. But then also you got to think long term, you want to be able to, let's say if you were to come off antibiotics or just stay on TRT for the rest of your life, that's again something which you need to understand. But then it's also a point where you want to be getting back to where your body is naturally. Like if you were thinking, let's say Sam, in a year from now, you want to come off antibiotics completely, you want to get back to where your body is from a natural standpoint. So you
Yeah,
need to be understanding where you are at. Naturally, you're never going to be able to do that if you're enhanced. As
yeah,
much as me and Sam are in cruise phases right now, we're still not natural.
correct.
So you're
And,
never
and
going
I,
to
sh-
be
I
100%.
want to put a really good analogy on this as well. Okay, and this is how the analogy is, right? For you car lovers, which I think Josh you'll understand. Yeah, Josh, you'll understand this.
I won't.
You will. I reckon you will. So understand, yeah. If you're into cars, you'll know this. Everyone should understand this. If you want to remap your car,
Nope,
okay,
don't understand.
okay, stage more power. You want to put more power through your car, which in this example is going to be your PEDs. Yeah. You're not going to stage one and put more power through your car without understanding if your car's already fucked. If your car's fucked, putting more power through it, it's only going to blow your fucking engine.
Yeah,
Likewise with your body. Your body is a mechanical system, like a fucking engine in a car. If this is not running correctly first and you put more power into it, it's only going to fail.
yeah,
So understanding and fixing and correcting the course before you go ahead and enhance it is only going to lead to more longevity and better performance overall.
mhm,
So blood work, and it's also going to allow you to, if you get your blood work done, it's going to open your eyes to so much more because you are already serious. We've established you're serious about this stuff. You can get the blood panel back. And if you go to a good lab, for example, Atlas, who I spoke about my story just then, get comprehensive breakdown and understand what is
can I interject and plug where I go for bloods?
okay. You go on.
Kratos Medical for anyone who is in the South Wales area.
Yeah. So two good blood labs. People are very comprehensive with the breakdown who will tell you what the issue is. I think Medichecks is good, but they will not explain to you everything and go into further detail. You want someone who's really, really into this. So I recommend
And
Atlas.
also, I'd say there's obviously a lot of blood lab clinics, especially within bodybuilding, but I'd say it's even if you're not, let's say, the biggest bodybuilder, if you're natural or something, go into people who have experience within people who are enhanced, people who are natural, people who are probably being the exact same phase you're in, will be able to give you a lot more than your regular sort of GP will.
Correct. Exactly. So getting your bloods back, you'll also open your eyes up to being more curious, which means you'll be looking into these bloods and going, okay, this is what the for example, Holly Atlas has told me. I'm going to do more research. Coming back to myself a little bit, this HSCRP marker of mine, the inflammation in the gut, I'm probably not absorbing food correctly right now. Therefore, there's probably no point pushing food right now. It
Mhm.
all comes down to these things, which are if you've got markers out and you're putting enhancements into your body and your body's not even functioning correctly, there is no point. You're wasting money and you're also going to damage yourself even further. So, again, what other things can you do?
Is that
Obviously,
your
blood
phone or
push.
mine? Is
What's that?
that your phone or mine? That buzzed.
Not mine, blood. Not mine. But what else can you do? Blood pressure monitoring.
Oh, it's just
Blood,
someone on Instagram giving me bullshit.
Oh, nice, fantastic. I've got some Instagram
I'm
pictures
just
as
getting
well,
bullied in the DMs. Fantastic.
as usual. Uh, what is it? It's leg press form. Yeah, nice. Let's get it.
Oh, it's about my fat face and neck.
Oh, no cankles. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Anyway, right. Blood work, blood pressure, blood glucose. Honestly, before even you do your blood pressure, your blood work, I'd recommend just buying a blood pressure monitor and blood glucose monitor because they are so cheap and they'll again get you curious.
Thumbs up.
Nice, thumbs up. He agrees with that, right? This is what I did before I got my blood work done as a natural. I was curious and I started doing these things to monitor how it affects through each phase. And when it starts getting to the point where blood pressure is a bit high,
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying,
even like even if you're natural, those things you should still be wanting to sort of monitor.
correct.
Just,
They are.
if you take anabolics, that's the only time you can have like high blood pressure. High blood pressure can be impacted by training, by foods, by stress, by a lot of things. It's not just going to be PDs.
And remember, it's a silent killer blood pressure as well. You don't even realize it until you know. And then when you know, it's probably too late and you could then keel over. And yes, you're young, chances are your blood pressure shouldn't be through the roof, but it certainly can be.
Yeah,
Um, and same with blood glucose. I've actually had not the best blood glucose my whole life. Like I literally haven't been the most sensitive individual ever. Um, so hence why now I'm assisted, I'm taking intervention for that. So
what metformin.
metformin and insulin.
Yeah,
So yeah. Um,
that reminds me, I need to get some more metformin. I'm out.
it's fucking expensive, metformin is. How much you get?
Depends where you get it from.
I mean, I go for the same guy, so
I
I
don't
don't
get it
know.
off a guy. I get it direct from the NHS, motherfucker.
Fuck off.
I don't, no, I just order it online and say I'm diabetic. Yeah, works out cheaper as well.
Hey, show me that.
Tell me to.
Yeah, show me that.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Anyway, so these are three easy things you can do. Obviously, you can do stuff like echocardiogram or CT calcium score, which is predominantly around your heart modeling. I've never had it done. I've never had a CT score done. Have you ever had them done? A CT score or echocardiogram?
I think about yeah, yeah. I think about echocardiogram done. Yeah.
So I've never had either of them done. I probably will get them done. Right now,
In
no.
fact, I'd also need to get the echocardiogram redone.
Yeah.
Obviously,
They are an expensive one-off, but again, it's very similar to your car. You wouldn't drive your car without getting it serviced or MOT'd. And that is just one of the things you can do to make sure you are, looking after yourself. So that is really what you can do as a natural to start. Start off with blood pressure and glucose monitoring. Get interested, learn about them things, and see how your diet and how your phase impact them negatively or positively. That gives you a good indicator.
very thing which I will admit I do slack on sometimes is checking my blood glucose.
I do it every morning because mine's just ass cheeks.
Can you guess why?
Uh,
It's me.
don't want to guess. What?
Can't put my finger, can
Why is she too fat?
I? No, I just do my ankles.
No, hey, it would just be oil that comes out of them.
That was good. That was good. No, I can't. I physically can't do it to myself. I can't bring myself to do it because I don't like blood. And like, it's not even like, oh, I don't like it. I'm genuinely petrified of blood. I can't. I genuinely cannot do it. Like, I had to do a thyroid test, when I was in prep because one of the main things which I was like a bit conscious about, was putting in T3 and T4. Because I didn't want to just erode away like I did last year. And in my head, I was like, I think a lot of the main reason was T3 and T4 usage, even though it was just monotherapy. Like just sort of like replace. Is it mono? It is monotherapy,
It's
isn't it?
yeah, replacement therapy, isn't it?
Replacement therapy.
Therapeutic doses in it is what it's
Yeah.
called.
So like that was all I used last year. But I was still like a bit like, do I need to use it? Do I need to use it now? Um, so I had that done, and luckily I was at this is when I was staying at Tom's. I couldn't do it. Like I tried, but I like my body would not let me pierce my skin. It's weird because injections sound, but drawing blood, I physically I can't do it.
I want to pin him down and start getting the instant fucking thing. Just
Yeah,
fucking
no,
chop.
like I've got to do it. I'm doing another thyroid test, I think, in a few weeks' time. Um, but I will have to go to my doctor to do it. Yeah, like I'm sweating now even thinking about it.
Bless his cotton socks. So fucking, I do it every morning.
You see my
Uh,
hand just tapping myself.
let's change subject.
It's like that's actually weird. I'm genuinely like I have a phobia of blood.
I'm so blessed, bro. I have a phobia of collecting 3 poo samples over 3 days. That's why I have a phobia.
I don't, so I'll help you with that. I'm sound with that.
You'll keel over after the first one. Trust me. It's not. Won't be pleasant, bro. You need one of them suits from Chernobyl. So a lead suit, bro. They're radioactive. Trust. Contains a point like fucking radioactive graphite on them. Have you watched the Chernobyl series before?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
No,
Like
because it's what I'm assuming it's like a documentary, right?
no, it's like a remake of the event. Like it's like a
Okay.
three it's like a 3 episode, 3 to 5 episode. I think it's 5 episode series on. It's like a Sky thing. If you've got a dodgy box, just watch it on there. Oh no, stream it legally. Sorry, yeah, stream it
Oh,
legally.
because I seen today on football Twitter, someone got put in prison for 3 years
Yeah, stream it legally is what I meant.
for doing that. So
Yeah,
it sounds like fuck that.
stream it legally.
Fuck that. I'm definitely not going to do that when City are playing at 3 p.m.
I definitely don't watch the US stream,
No,
but
but the issue is we're going way off tangent here, so we need to put it back in a minute. But the issue is like if you're like you've set up a fully legal stream for a 3 p.m. kickoff, and like when it just stops.
yeah, and you go to link 2 and link 3 and link 4 of the
And then the
legal.
worst thing is like it's always like what a minute or so ahead or behind in it. So like, I'll forget to turn my notifications off my phone.
Oh, and yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, City are 1-0 down again in the first 10 fucking minutes. They always fucking are.
And then you're actually prepared to watch. You're like, oh yeah, good fair play. Whereas for me, that was 3-0 United the other day. Let's get it.
Bro, let's go off football for that.
Let's go back into the actual stuff people are listening for.
Fuck football.
So, right, natural. You're established your goals and you are consistent. Everything has been ticked and stuff like this. You've been monitoring blood pressure and blood glucose. I'm going to sneeze. I'm not. Oh, damn. Blood work, possible CT score and echocardiogram. Fantastic. You established all of these things now. That's great. Transitioning. What is your next steps? You want to take it?
What's in terms of like how you should transition from natural to
What is
natural?
your next steps? You've had everything done. You've done some research. You've had the feedback from your things. You've rectified any potential issues.
Mhm.
Where do you want to go from here? Where would you go from here?
So this is right. Right now, I've decided I want to go enhanced. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So first of all, I think even if you're relatively educated in the field of anabolics already, like even before you've taken anything, you're like, right, I understand what this is going to be doing. I still would be working with a coach.
Correct.
And that's not just fucking some plug for me and Sam. But I genuinely think at least giving someone else that responsibility, at least for your first cycle, is something which is really important because you don't want to just be putting all that pressure on yourself. If something goes wrong, you need to understand that you're probably not the most experienced person right now if you've never fucking taken anything before to deal with those things. So I'd make sure that you're working with an experienced coach who has explained everything to you, even if you already know it, because you want to sort of be in the know. Then you want to be understanding how much testosterone you need to be taking and nothing else but testosterone to put yourself into a super physiological range of testosterone. That is usually going to range between 150 to 200 milligrams will be absolutely fine. On average, your body will produce, I think it's 125 milligrams of testosterone per week. So 150 to 200 milligrams of testosterone will or should elevate you out of that range. I would, in my opinion, pull bloods again in 12 to 14 weeks after your first injection, just to understand how you've responded. Because that's something which is really, really important is understanding how you respond. As Sam said, I think on the podcast, he's frozen. Sam, you still there?
Oh, what's happened to my camera? Can you still
You,
hear me?
I can still hear you, but you're frozen.
Let me stop the video and start it again.
But yeah, as I was saying, you want to understand how you're responding to, let's say, exogenous amounts of testosterone being in. That might be a case where you respond really, really well. For example, myself, my first cycle was, I'm pretty, well, first exposure was, I think, 200 milligrams of testosterone or 250, one of the two. I can't remember. No, it was 250. It was 250, and that put me just above the natural range, which was, I'm pretty sure it was 46 nanomoles of testosterone. And when I was natural, I was at 22. So that basically understood that taking 250 milligrams of testosterone put me just above that natural range. Or I'd say a decent bit above. I think the natural range is up to, no, it's not decent above, it's up to 32 in it. So yeah, pretty well above. So I was responding really well. All my other markers were pretty good. I'm going to try and wait for Sam before I
I don't know
continue.
what's going on with this, bro. One second, let me just unplug my camera and plug it back.
No, you're
Oh, we're
fine.
back. We're back.
So when you obviously take testosterone, your body then basically says to yourself, right, I am getting all of this testosterone coming in. I now do not need to naturally produce testosterone. That is why some people will put the comment out there, your balls shrink. Yes, because, or they might do, because they are not having to produce as much testosterone or any testosterone anymore. Your reproductive hormones, so your FSH, your LH, will most likely, I'm not going to say 100% of the time because there might be someone out there who doesn't happen to, will also plummet because you do not need to be, your body's thinking, I've got all this testosterone now. I do not need to be naturally producing it. But either way, from there, let's say you get blood work done 12 to 14 weeks in and everything is comprende, everything is lovely, capiche. You can then begin escalating in terms of dosages from there. Anywhere from, like, say, 25 milligrams to 50 milligram increments will be absolutely sound. You don't need to go straight all the way to 500 milligrams and think, right, now I've got gyno, now I've got sides. You eventually want to be titrating up dosages to find your maximum tolerable dose of testosterone. For some people, that might be 300. For some people, that might be 500. For some people, that might be 600, 700, whatever that really is. Once you get to that point, you then understand that is what my body cannot tolerate any more testosterone, because obviously with elevated testosterone comes estrogen. Estrogen is good. We want estrogen, but too much estrogen is going to get to the point where we get some side effects. For example, gynecomastia. We don't want that because we don't want bitch tits. So therefore, we pull testosterone down a little bit more, and then we replace the dosages or the dose with a DHT derivative. I'm going way too far because this is not.
You've gone deep. I'm going to pull it back. So,
Basically, when Sam isn't there, I just either say nothing or I waffle.
yeah, so he's gone straight to like nearly to DHTs now. We're talking deep, but it's fine. I'll pull it back. So honestly,
Either
that
way, that's your first. That's just testosterone. Don't take any more than that, please.
yes. So this is strictly the transition, and we can go into DHTs another time, can't we? Obviously, we can have more podcasts around this stuff and how to escalate and stuff like this, which would be interesting. But I've actually had a client who of mine has been on his first cycle for 12 weeks, and he'll want me saying this. I won't say his name, but his natural levels of testosterone and hormones, all his blood markers are green. ALT was slightly out. It's fine. That's not it's slightly over range. Training marker didn't come off training prior to thingy. Fine. Everything else absolutely fine. Lipid levels great, perfect. He was on 13. He had 13 nanomoles of testosterone, and his
30 or
PMOL of
13.
13. What?
13 or 30.
13 nanomole. So lower end really is the range between 8 and about 30. So you're sort of towards the
What was
lower
my
end.
head? I thought it was 40. It's not 40, is it? It's about 30 or 32.
29, I think it is. 29. It's like, I don't know. It depends who you get checked by. They tend to have many checks is between 8 and 29. I say 8 to 30. Fine. His was 13. So obviously towards the lower end. We then put him on 150. And I think one specific thing I like to mention here is that for a safety side of things, especially maybe if you're someone who could be prone to other issues, but also, I guess, trying to be proactive instead of being reactive, is microdosing. I've done a lot of research behind this, and
Yeah, that's
especially,
nothing. Spacing out your, as much as it's an absolute ball ache, when you go first assisted, you can't wait to pin because it's fucking amazing. You're actually taking gear or whatever. Um,
we're also scared at the same time,
yeah,
possibly.
obviously, but and then I remember for me, it was like I was pinning twice a week. And when I'm cruising, I still just pin twice a week because I've never really experienced any sort of any sort of issues flaring up. So whenever I'm cruising, I just pin twice a week because I'm fucking lazy. However, I wouldn't recommend that. When I'm on a blast, I then pin 5 times a week. But I would microdose your injections throughout the week. The main reason which I can't be asked doing that is because if I'm pinning a total of, let's say 1 mil for the week, let's say I'm on 300 milligrams of testosterone, I can't be asked splitting that to 7 injections because that's fuck all.
It is.
I'm
Um,
lazy.
and this
But
is first, and this is first-hand experience of doing that over here. The thing is, it's like ripping off a band-aid. And what I'm going to say about this is if you do it now, you'll get more used to the frequency. Okay, you'll get used to the fact that you're doing
you
it
get
there.
into the routine of doing it.
Correct. If you go from one and have to go to more, you're going to start hating it. So you rip the band-aid off. Oh my Lord. Can you hear that?
No, what's happened?
Seconds. Someone's calling me on Discord. Fucking dickhead. But thinks I'm playing Call of
Excited.
Duty. Like I said, I'd fuck off. I'm in a podcast. Anyway, um, so what was I saying? Yeah, rip the band-aid off, inject more frequently, microdosing. What this is going to do is your hormones, peaks and troughs. You're injecting an exogenous hormone in one big batch. Okay, your hormone's going to do this, right? And then go back down. Okay, do it on a microdosing basis. You're going to do more like this.
You want to make sure that those peaks and troughs are as minimal as possible.
Yeah. What this is going to do is also then allow for possibly this could be a reason as to if you were to do it in one batch where you could receive estrogenic side effects due to the big fluctuations. But if you microdose it, it could actually resolve that issue. So if you do it and be proactive first, you can negate the fact that it's actually your dosing frequency and that is actually something to do with how much you're taking later down the line.
Mhm.
Also, at that point, it's also easier to escalate, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah.
But instead of injecting, a larger amount of volume where maybe it's too much, you can also utilize smaller pins as well, which again, speak to your coach about that. Insulin pins, for example, okay, easier to use, less painful, less pip, better time. But
You
again,
stop pinning with blues. I actually had someone he came to me, and he was pinning with blues, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
what javelins?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I think
stop pinning. Bang.
one of my clients said, so I got him onto slim pins because he was doing so again, another one of my clients who was assisted came to me doing injecting frequency of one time per week using 1.5-inch needles, which were also like javelins. And he said, yeah, my scar tissue's awful. These are awful. And I said, right, do this, go to slim pins, microdose. He said, this is amazing.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. It's like you don't really feel it either,
No.
and you shouldn't.
So
Like, it should literally be okay. It should be pain free.
yeah, should be. But people don't. People do prescribe 1.5-inch javelins, which is
It's
I've
ridiculous.
not tried and I don't want to try because I've seen the size of them and they
I
don't
remember
look.
I this was 2 years ago. I ordered some more needles to come. I clicked the wrong ones, didn't I? So I picked the right gauge. It was orange 28 gauge. Um, because at that point, like I was peak blast, so like I was pinning more in my individual injections than 1 mil, so they wouldn't actually fit into like the 1 mil sort of fixed needle insulin pin. So I was like, right, I'm gonna have to just screw it on to the barrel which I'm drawing out of, which is cool. And I was like, I wanted to use the 5/8 ones because that's usually what the insulin pins are. However, I clicked on the first thing I saw, didn't I? Just ordered 1 inch.
Yeah. Nice.
And it's like if it doesn't go all the way in, it's very difficult to press it all out. You
Yes.
can just put the like half of it in. You can just put just the tip in, theoretically. However, it's a ball ache, so I'm still making my way through them very, very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. Fun. So
Every single time, like,
it's like this. It's like so you're over here going, ah,
crying every night.
got two hands on it. God, no.
The worst thing is like when for some reason that all just won't go in, and they're just like fucking shoving it in.
Mm. Anyway,
That's why you use lube, kids. Not kids.
oh no.
Right, let's actually get back to this being a really
So,
professional
so yeah,
podcast.
so like I said, I've had many clients with different situations. Microdose using small needles, pain-free, less pip, more enjoyable to as much as it possibly can be. And then also allowing yourself to also mitigate the estrogenic side effects which you can rule off of that possibly being your cause of estrogenic side effects if you're going to get any. And like Josh said, titrating upwards, like I said, 12 weeks blood from a case study of my clients is that his came back at 39 nanomole post 150 per week after 12 weeks.
I remember I did a reel on this. I put it on TikTok. TikTok is the worst fucking place in the world. And I had like loads of people just like old school massive gearheads saying like, you don't need to pull bloods at 12 or 14 weeks out. That's not a cycle. That's not going to give you loads of negative health effects. And I was like, that's not the fucking point of why we're pulling bloods. Like you're not going to pull bloods, let's say 150 milligrams of test or 200 milligrams of test and have everything absolutely in the bin. You're going to die loads of that's not the reason why, in my opinion, you should pull bloods. You should pull bloods to see how you've responded,
Correct.
to understand how much you need to escalate further. Because if you've taken 150 milligrams of testosterone and your blood and your testosterone is now at 16 animals, for example, you don't need to go to probably 200 straight off the bat. Probably go to 175. And that
Or
can be your first.
or even if your progression's good enough, just run this for longer.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Continue running that. But in terms of escalations, you don't need to escalate by 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams, maybe. You can literally just escalate in 25, which sounds fuck all, but and people will be like, oh, but I want to take more, I want to take this. But bodybuilding in general is a long game, but in my opinion, PD should be an even longer game. You don't need to rush into X, Y, and Z.
Again, like think about food. Like you're not going to, for example, each progression of food add in 500 grams of carbs.
No,
You're not going
it's
to add, you might not even add 100 grams of carbs. You might add 25 to 50 grams of carbs per escalation of food.
yeah.
But you
But
don't
like
you don't
even
complain about
if
that.
we bring it down to literally just food now, you can still if you can't progress on I'm gonna sneeze, so I'm gonna turn my camera off because that's actually minging.
Bro, he's actually pussy, mate. Not to sneeze on camera.
Hang on, how do I turn it off?
Look into a bright light or you'll sneeze quicker.
It's gone. I think it's gone. I can't even pause the chat. Yeah, in terms of food, if you're eating, in my opinion, upwards of 250 grams of carbs and you can't progress in your training, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like that's why it baffles me so much when people are in a prep and the second they go into a deficit, or even if they're not in a prep, and like, I can't progress my training. My training's so much harder. It doesn't mean you can't. Like
Mm.
right now, my food is at 500 gram of carbs on a training day. It's been pulled from 600. I've got less food than I did last week. My training is still sound. My training is still good. I'm not at the peak level of food I've ever been on in my life. I'm not on the 940 carb, which I was on like 2 years ago in my off season, but I'm still progressing. Just because you're not
That's
on a gram of gear, 2 grams of gear, 3 grams of gear, which all these pros might be on, doesn't mean that you can't still progress on that. But then also, you got to understand when you make that food increase, are you going to add in 100 grams of carbs? No. You might add in 10 grams of carbs to each meal. And you might add in 50, that might be 50 gram of carbs across the day for you. You might add in just 25 grams of carbs potentially. You're still going to progress. That might be enough to keep your body weight trending upwards. That might be enough to keep your progression going. So therefore, why would anything change with PDs?
exactly.
It's
Get the most out of the least. So, for example, what am I doing with my client who I've seen this? He's gone from 13 to outside the range to 39. He's now gone from being half a man to being above the
Mhm.
bloke, right? Where's his progression gone? Gym's gone up, scale weight's gone up, visuals have improved. Why do I need to change anything? Now, I've realized as well his estrogen is also tripled, right? So therefore, he's probably also very responsive. And what we know about estrogen is one, it's very, very good to build a muscle, but you need it to build muscle, right? For me, is for example, mine also has done the same. My estrogen is very high, but I'm not seeing any estrogenic side effects. And that's one thing as well. Do not be scared of estrogen. If you pull your blood and you go, holy shit, my estrogen's gone fucking quadrupled, right? Fine, right? But are you experiencing any estrogenic side effects? If the answer is no, you're still able to escalate, okay? Until the point where you possibly do start seeing
And
them.
even again, if that's sky high, but you're not microdosing, it's probably one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And that's not to say if you microdose it, it's going to go plummet all the way back down. It's going to be bang on in your head. You want it to be, but it's probably not going to be as high. And that's something which, again, you want to be. You still want you want estrogen in anyway. You don't want to just completely plummet it. That's why, like, I think AI is well, I say in my opinion, pretty much everyone's opinion now, they're absolutely wank. Because an AI is literally going to plummet your estrogen. But you still want it in. If it gets to a point where you're microdosing, you're experiencing side effects, that's again where your testosterone is probably just too high.
And that's where, our sort of next topic of podcast could lead into on our one of these discussions. Where do we go from that point? But, this whole discussion's been around where you should be as a natty and and where you currently are and you want to go assisted, where to start. And pretty much that is where you want to be starting. Under the influence of a coach, and this is not a plug for me or Josh, there's plenty of great,
Thing is,
amazing coaches out
I've
there
still got such a childish mind because when you said under the influence, I was going to say alcohol.
under the influence of drugs.
Under the influence of alcohol, do it drunk.
Yeah,
It's always a drunk decision.
it's always drugs. It's always
That's
drugs.
on me and Sam when it says we just got pissed one night and said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, fact. Yeah, easy. Impulse decision. Let's go. No thinking. Let's do. What does Christian say? Full speed. What is it? Full speed. Keep all, whatever the fuck it is. Oh, no, it's
I
so
just say
funny.
YOLO.
YOLO. But yeah, so hopefully that was at least some sort of educational content with a little bit of a fun twist to it. But I mean, we should end it there. Is that where we should end it? I think so.
Yeah, I think we can leave it there.
Yeah.
It's been a good one though. It's been actually like a bit different to what we usually sort of do.
We're actually
Um,
showing a bit of our knowledge instead of just pissing around for a fucking hour and taking the piss out of his cankles and my bad skin. We did that anyway, didn't we? And my bad bowels and my shit samples, freezing poo.
Yeah,
Uh,
what we kind of want to do now is like because we want to be getting more guests on, but I think we still want to be like spacing them out. We don't want to be a guest, whatever. So I think we'll probably go like guest, normal sort of podcast, or maybe like podcast where we just talk about a topic, and then just sort of like space them out through there because for the next couple of months there's not going to be any shows. We can't even chat about them. Um, and we're basically just going to be getting fatter. Um,
oh yeah, I'll be getting a little bit skinnier, but
I've basically nailed on the decision that I'm going to prep next year now.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
I'm not yet
Three
decided.
summers with zero social life. Not that I have any anyway, but 3 summers where I definitely can't go abroad and actually enjoy myself. Brilliant. Sick. Can't fucking wait.
So I guess if you enjoyed this episode, obviously like, share, story tags, please. And if you made it this far, comment. Um, comment what?
Shit.
Comment frozen poo.
No, don't. Just comment shit.
No, we can't. No, they get flagged. They can't comment shit, can they?
Bro, if we're getting flagged for that, we're getting flagged for a lot more.
Comment cankles. Should,
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
should we? Should we comment?
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
this called
comment cankles. There you go. Just go on,
it's not
show.
that the most annoying thing is that it's actually uncomfortable. Like the thing is, in this t-shirt, I actually look skinny. That's the worst thing.
That's where a hoodie
Like
broke
if
up.
I'm sat like here, I probably look quite big. If I'm sat like here, I I don't train. I'm
Uh,
fat, right, but
hey, bro, you go gym?
yeah.
Right. Anyway, yeah, comment cankles, but appreciate you listening if you made it this far. Hope it's educational. Again, disclaimer, educational purposes only. We're not fucking trained,
Yeah.
qualified individuals. We're just an opinion-based two
I'm
clowns.
definitely not trained. If you looked at me,
We're just two clowns with an opinion who have experience within this field. Simple as that. Anyway,
the next podcast is probably going to be with a guest in it.
yeah, Christian.
Do you know when that is?
No, I'll message him.
Yeah.
Could be Friday.
Might be filmed tomorrow, might be filmed Thursday, might be filmed Friday. Don't know.
Let's see. All right, bless.
All right, nice one, Sam. I'll see you on Saturday when we train together.
Let's go.
Bye.